Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be making some coffee and we're going to be talking about the Porsche Cayenne Coupe Turbo. Now, coffee of the day is none other than this Ethiopia Mercuria Moga. Yeah, the names are always like that. They are always difficult to pronounce. That is how you sell stories. Okay, so awesome Ethiopia, one of my favorite coffees up to, not to date, but in recent memory. This is roasted by none other than Dennis in Penang Island. We've covered his coffees before, they're good. So, brewing with them is a piece of cake. Now the thing I appreciate about his coffees is that it is well developed, right? Since I'm alone in the bar, it is well developed, meaning that even though it is considered a light roast coffee, it is not too underdeveloped. I can still play around with the extraction to see how much I can get. So that's the fine balance that he strikes. With his coffees that I see a lot of local roasters don't really strike that balance very well. Because of course Dennis is a very talented person. He's a brewer as well as a coffee roaster. So whenever he enters competitions, sometimes he roasts for himself in the competition. This is usually split between the role of 2 to 4 people. Yeah. Okay. 15 grams. There's a trick to getting very creamy, very smooth lattes. It is not over steaming your milk, right? Make sure it is okay to touch. The proper temperature should be around 60 to 65 degrees Celsius, and as you pour, just go a little bit in, mix it, swirl it around just like this with the milk, right? Just swirl it around. What you're doing is distributing the oils in the espresso very evenly, and then you go into and do your latte art. For me, it is more latte fart because I can. Alright, we take a sip of that and then we review some Porsche Cayenne Turbo. Hi guys, welcome back, and today we'll be talking about this Porsche Cayenne Coupe Turbo behind me. Now, the Cayenne Coupe Turbo, with the turbo language in Porsche dictionary, meaning it is one of the fastest of its kind. So for example, the Carrera Turbo has an S behind it, so that's like very fast, right? So when you see turbo in Porsche cars, it means it's something special and totally, utterly irrational. Now this car is equipped with a 4-liter V8 engine courtesy of the Volkswagen Group, but still tuned with Porsche engineers. It outputs 550 horsepower with upwards 770 Newton meters of torque. Now all that power is tied to a Tiptronic S gearbox, single clutch. It's not the famous, critically acclaimed PDK, or rather Porsche dual plomb. Now, to put things into perspective, this is more than 2 tons, right? Even with all the lightweight sport package lah, but if you add in the body chassis weight itself, engine, and the PDCC, which is the Porsche Dynamic Chassis Control, you add in all those suspension and everything, it is more than 2 tons, right? But the fantastic thing is that it goes from 0 to 100 in merely 3.9 seconds, and we know how Porsche is always understating the power and the grip and the ability of their cars. Let's put it into perspective. Of all the cars inside Abadi Motor Penang showroom, right? You see a Boxster over here, you see the Z4 S-Drive 30i, I think 30i over here, you get the E300, of course, those are some of which are higher end sports cars, some are not. We have a Carrera Cabriolet in front of me as well, you have an SVR at the back, if you can see somewhat, catch a glimpse of it. It is one of the fastest cars in the showroom, losing to only the Carrera S Cabriolet, which goes from 0 to 100 in 3.5 seconds. This one goes from 0 to 100 in 3.9 seconds, right? It's even faster than a Boxster S with Sports Chrono package doing the launch control in launch control mode, right? This is a perfectly irrational car, right? If you're talking about practicality, there are more practical things to do with your wallet than a Porsche Cayenne Coupe Turbo, right? If you want practicality and you want just the Porsche experience, a Cayenne S or Cayenne Coupe S would suit that need perfectly. Now, when you're talking about this category of cars, when you're shopping in this range, you are talking about competitors like the GLE 63 Coupe as well as the X6M Coupe. Now, those are like coupe SUVs. I like the look. It is nice, it is sleek, it is uptrend, fashionable in terms of SUVs. I don't like potato-shaped SUVs. And yeah, as we've explored in a previous video, link somewhere in the video, the Cayenne Coupe, the 3.0, the base model variant we had was perfectly fine, it was perfectly capable. And if you spec up the things to be similar to this car, you can get pretty close, right? But you are interested in this car and the X6M and the GLE 63 Coupes because of, first of all, the look, and second of all, the performance, right? Even though Porsche lets you spec a lot of things, unless, okay, if let's put things this way, right? You can buy a Cayenne Coupe 3.0 engine, or you can buy a Cayenne Turbo Coupe 4.0 engine. Of the Cayenne Coupe 3.0 engine, you can spec up most of the things, such as the lightweight sport package, PTLS, Sports Chrono, Sports Exhaust, etc. You can spec it to look like a Cayenne Coupe Turbo, but you're missing out on the engine, and performance is why you buy these cars. Mostly, this is secretly a track car disguised as an everyday family-friendly SUV. Now, I'll show you later on some of the interesting specs about this car, but that's just a general introduction of this car and where it stands, right? If you want to compare it to a more traditional shaped SUV, it will be compared to the SVR right back there, but the SVR is a 5-litre supercharged engine, right? Okay, so that's the introduction. Let me show you the interior, some of the specifications, and why this example is one of the highest spec in the market. Here we go, let's take a look around this car. It's equipped with the PDLS Porsche Dynamic Light system over there. As we covered before, this is one of the essentials if you're speccing a Porsche, not only for looks but also for the resale value of this car. We know it's a favorite topic for all the people that buy cars before they buy cars, they're already thinking about the resale value a few years down, blah blah blah. They don't even like the car to begin with, right? That goes to show Malaysians think about divorce before they even get married. Okay, so moving on to the wheels. These are fantastic looking wheels. This is the satin platinum 22-inch rims, as well as the yellow brake calipers, signifying that it is PCCB, or rather Porsche Composite Ceramic Brakes. So this is an 80k option in Malaysia. If you're buying brand new, this is an 80k option, similar to the M3 M4 of the current kidney grill that looks like a lung grill, that generation. 80k for the ceramic brakes. Now if you take a look at the back end of the car, you can see that the sloping roof design does make it look very good and somewhat reminiscent of a 911 Carrera. We've covered in the video before that this is the shape that I prefer. The normal Cayenne kind of just looks like a big bulky potato. For me, okay, right? If you're talking about an SUV, if you want that bulky shape, I would much prefer an SVR or a Range Rover type car, right? For me, they do the aggressive, rugged, bulky, muscular look much better than the previous generation, or like the normal Cayenne, the non-coupe Cayenne, right? I've covered for you as well. You can see the rear wheels, everything. You see there, very nice lines. You can see the latest generation style light which goes all the way through. This is armed with the lightweight sport package. So lightweight sport package means that it has the carbon fiber diffuser over here. You can see from here that it does have sport tail pipes painted in black, and it comes with a sports exhaust system as well. This is the adaptive spoiler that looks very ugly when it's activating. It activates around, I think, 80 kilometers per hour. Yep, and that contributes to the whole entire driving dynamics and stability of this car. And yeah, it just does car things, right? I've driven the 3.0, I haven't driven the coupe, but it promises to be something a little bit crazy, right? And when you're talking about practicality, when you're talking about duality, and talking about, you know, a car that you can take to the track and the car you can fetch your kids to school, that sort of narrative, this car fits it perfectly well. And let me show you this epic thing, right? If you look at the entire roof, it is in carbon fiber, and that's the epic thing with the lightweight sports package. Similar things over on this side, nothing much to talk about. If you've covered the front, these things are adaptive as well. I don't know what for, but they're adaptive. Then you get the Porsche InnoDrive in this car as well. This is the camera for the adaptive cruise control features. Okay, PDRS looking pretty. Let's take a look inside the car. Now that we are inside the Porsche Cayenne Coupe Turbo, it is a nice place to be. Very luxurious, but not in the typical Bentley Rolls-Royce way. It is still a sports car. It is pure Porsche DNA. Nothing in here will make you feel like a king or a prince. You feel like more a race car driver taking an off day, right? You can see, okay, there's a 5 instrument dial setup, one of which is still analog, the rest are digital, which makes it configurable. For example, you want to put maps, you want to put everything else, you know, what other functions there are. You can slowly explore and make it suit your needs, right? The center is still the Cayenne Coupe Turbo. Yes, it has the turbo designation here, so you can show off to all the peasants that, you know, you're driving a Cayenne Coupe Turbo, right? Now you have the sports chrono clock right here. Of course, we think it's one of the essentials in terms of buying a Porsche. Yep. You get the carbon fiber pack all the way inside. For the Porsche SUVs, however, I don't think that the carbon fiber pack is really something to be happy about, especially if you're a consumer, because you see, it's just a strip like this and the piece of chrome aluminium stuff around it. It feels like it's just tacked on, you know. It doesn't feel like they incorporated carbon fiber in the car, more like they decorated the car with carbon fiber. You know, you have a wall, you got empty space there, you put a painting on it. It just feels like that to me, right? But you do get some of it. It's not even a lot of carbon fiber, right? But paired with the Alcantara steering wheel, this is the multifunction GT steering wheel with the sports chrono button over here, or rather a sports response button, and the mode switch. Yes, sports response button and the mode switch over here. You get these handlebars over here that, you know, make it very, very nice for passengers to hold on, especially if you're driving spiritedly or enthusiastically. It's very, very nice to hold on. I really like this in SUVs, especially if you're a sporty SUV, right? I think this is also present in the GLE 63, if I'm not mistaken, right? Alcantara is not only limited to the steering wheel, but also the entire, what do you call this thing, shades. Yeah, the shades. Oh my god. Okay, it's entirely wrapped in Alcantara. The whole roof lining is in Alcantara, even down to halfway through the B pillars are in Alcantara as well. Now, talking about the seats, I like the seats very, very much because it has the turbo engraving over here. It has the turbo engraving, but if you look at the center of the seats, it is sport text material, so it is half fabric in this classic checkered design. I really like this classic checkered design because, of course, with being fabric, it gives you breathability in your bag. It's not just full leather. Leather is nice to touch, but not very breathable. The side bolstering is good because it's in leather, and yeah, this is very high quality, very plush, very soft leather as well. So I appreciate that. So quality of materials is quite good, and being Porsche, the build quality of everything is just rock solid, right? It's just rock solid. Try moving the handlebars around, nothing really budges, everything works as it should. You even get a wireless charger here, which I did not expect. Okay, yep, something new every day. You get two cup holders here that comfortably fit Chubb Decor cups. Alright, I bought Chubb Decor cups for you guys to see. This is the small Chubb Decor cup, which you get if you're ordering a smaller size drink. It goes in here, but yeah, without weight and stuff, I kind of feel like it pushes it out. So I wouldn't recommend getting a small drink at Chubb Decor. Hehe, insert plug. Right, if you use the bigger cup, it fits very nicely, very snug. Right, there you go. Those are the cup holders in this car. Pretty good. I don't know what this thing is. Right above the cup holders, supposedly it is, I think it might hold the smoker's package if you option that in. I'm not too sure. Right now, I think most people use it as a coin holder or key holder or your condo gate card holder place. Pretty good. Now, back seats, I've covered before. Back seats are fantastic. You can look at how spacious it is. Let's take a seat back there, and I can show you that in a coupe SUV, unlike the GLC and the GLE, you do not lose out on a lot of headroom. Alright. Okay, so I am around 175 centimeters tall. I don't know how that translates into feet. Okay, so if you look at the headroom, it's pretty good. I can sit comfortably, I can sit completely upright, and nothing is touching the roof lining. So yeah, just seated normally. You get handlebars at the back here too. You get some carbon fiber elements over here too, and overall comfortable space to be in. In Porsche Cayennes, you can spec 5-seater or 4-seater. This one is a 4-seater. Yes, 4-seater with a tray in the middle to put stuff. You don't get B-pillar air cons in this car, surprisingly. I would expect that to be a thing, especially if this car costs more than ringgit 1 million. Yeah, it's not present in this car. It's present even in the Volvo SUVs, right? But it's not in this car. They wrap it with Alcantara instead. The aircons are instead over here, and you do get seat heating at the back as well. Not that many of us in Malaysia will actually use it. Right, the seats at the back are very comfortable, very nice, and you also get that turbo crest designation over here, and those very nice contrasting textile seats, right? Leather with fabric in a classic checkered design. Very nice. It is very big, very spacious and comfortable at the back. So seating 4 people comfortably is really no issue. Let's take a look at some of the boots. Alright, open that up and you can see big space, big space, easily fitting 3-4, I think 4 luggages easy lah, 3 to 4, yeah, big ones, the ones that you take to escape as a convict, like all your stuff. I think, however, this is a little bit high though, even though it's electronically operated. For me, I'm still stretching my hand slightly, okay? Not like stretch, but you know, it's still pretty tall, especially for some smaller people, some vertically challenged people. Yep. Alright, so let's move on to the final juicy part where I show you the engine and the sound. Sweet V8. Now let me show you the 4-liter V8 turbo engine. Right here underneath the hood, it is absolutely massive. Now after hearing the exhaust sound, so that was in sports mode and with sports exhaust on. So imagine it without sport mode and sport exhaust. It can be actually just quite quiet and not be a complete fool. But I think right now with all the European regulations in the OPF, yes, we all know the story behind it. It doesn't sound as good, it kind of sucks. Yeah, to be honest, it kind of sucks. But this car with a proper exhaust system installed, maybe a Krapovic, maybe IPE, maybe Remus, find some of those guys and do the exhaust up, I think it will sound better, especially in the car. Right, with a big car like this, sound isolation is quite good, which sort of dampens the excitement and emotion behind driving a Cayenne Coupe Turbo. So yeah, it's a turbo, noise is already reduced, and OPF. Yeah, you need to find an aftermarket exhaust solution for this to get the best emotional drive out of this car. So who are the buyers of this car? Right, it's something that sometimes even you struggle to understand. It's an SUV, it's not really a sports car. Would you spend so much on a sports car? But yes, it is a capable sports car in this package in itself, right? It is a fully capable sports car with all the PDCC, which is the chassis control, 48 volt, just control the anti-roll of such a big car like this. Better driving dynamics with the coupe sloping roof, as well as the composite ceramic brakes. So all this is stuff that you get in a sports car, which performs well in a sports car, and they just put it into a larger chassis, a larger package, and that contributes to how well this will be able to drive, especially on track, right? The figures don't really do it justice. You need to feel the power and the driving dynamics inside the car to really justify that price tag. Otherwise, a simple Cayenne coupe would fit the bill, give you a Porsche driving experience that is not as crazy, it's not as intense, but still there and having the same practicality as this car. Right, so if you want the full detailed information of this car, I'll leave a link to the seller in the description down below. It's basically by Abadi Motor Penang. So leave the link down in the description. If you are keen to know more, simply find out there. Alright guys, cheers.